Now, your first alert forecast.
Welcome back, everybody. A line of showers and thunderstorms capable of reaching severe limits is moving across the Panhandle. We're cutting into what would normally be our newscast. We don't have to really cut into anything for a tornado warning here. And this tornado warning, the far northern half of the Panhandle, Jackson County included in this. And if you take a look at your screen now, velocity beginning to show just a tad bit of a concern there. And we've got Chief Meteorologist Ryan Michaels in-house as well. He's here to take a look at a few different products. Ryan, you kind of seeing what I'm seeing there with the velocity on the left side of the screen there?
Yeah, exactly. Right up between Cottonwood and then looking a little bit more towards the border of northern Jackson County, just west of Malone is where we have this tornado warning and where we have the couplet that we'll be concerned with here with the possibility of rotation in the atmosphere. We are under a tornado watch across the Panhandle. It's for this line of showers and thunderstorms moving its way on through. The tornado warning itself highlighted in red. Up across northern portions of Jackson County is where we're going to zoom into. And again, right around the Malone region, this is the time that you want to go ahead and find your safe place. We're south of Cottonwood in Alabama, east of Campbellton in northern Jackson County. The couplet itself is just starting to cross over 231, but it'll be tracking its way down Highway 2 as we head towards Malone, and then further maybe towards the Steam Mill region as we get within the hour. This is a tornado warning that lasts until 5 a.m. You see the end of that tornado box in red stretches out towards the east or the right side of your screen into the Steam Mill region until 5 o'clock here this morning. This line of showers and thunderstorms is all being created by a cold frontal boundary that's working its way down into the southeast. It's the difference between air masses here that's creating these showers and thunderstorms. Warm, moist air feeding out ahead of this frontal boundary, cold, drier air working in on the backside. The cold, dry air lifts the warm, moist air up, and that creates the showers and the thunderstorms. The changing of winds with direction as well as speed and height give us the potential to where we could see these westerly winds influence some of the southerly flow and give us rotation along that line of showers and thunderstorms to possibly produce the tornadic activity. So a little closer look, it's a squall line feature, most of which is benign for our region here in northwest Florida. It is the zone that's just up across Dothan, stretching right up into Albany, Georgia. That's had some of the tornadic features here as of late this morning, mostly up towards southern Alabama. But crawling right along the line of northern Jackson County is where we're seeing the potential for some rotation in this latest tornado warning that includes portions of northern Jackson County from Campbellton to Malone. Campbellton, this cell is just to the northeast of you. It's probably coming down pretty hard and heavy, but we're looking just about 5-6 miles to the northeast of you and south of Cottonwood by about 4 or 5 miles. From Malone, it's only about 5 or 6 more miles, and this line of showers and thunderstorms is moving at about 30 miles per hour off towards the east. That's going to give us a window of time here for about 10 minutes of a heads up into the Malone region. It'd be about another 20 minutes as you look further off towards the east, towards the Steam Mill locations here this morning. Now's the time to go ahead and find that safe place in your household, whether it be away from the outside windows, any doors that face the outside, a closet, a centralized portion of your home, a bathroom, something like that in the middle of your household. If you can go ahead and make it to do so safely, what you can do is turn on your TV loud enough, bring your phone so that you can hear us, bring your phone into your safe space as well. We'll continue to have updates coming through our WJHG weather app, which if you haven't gotten that yet, go ahead and download it free out of the WJHG composite of apps that we have to give you. Our First Alert weather app is one that's going to be able to work in case you lose power, which is another reason why you want to have that app on your phone in a situation like this. But we'll be watching this cell tray work its way off towards the east, towards the Malone region here in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, Ryan, it's going to work its way east, and for some folks, it'll come a little quickly, and for some, probably saying, where is the thunderstorm threat? Where's the rain? Because it's been quite quiet all morning, especially for areas out towards the east here. Areas like Panama City really haven't seen much in terms of rainfall quite yet. But this line really packs that severe threat in pretty quickly, and it's kind of thin as it works its way through in terms of the line from top to bottom, from vertically stacked. But as we take a look at your screen, What you're going to notice is not much going on out towards the east quite yet, and that's where we're watching some of that southerly wind blowing up from the Gulf up in front of this line of showers and thunderstorms, which is going to help fuel some of the thunderstorm potential over the next few minutes and the next few hours as well, as you continue to see that warm southerly flow kind of stack up ahead of this frontal system. It's providing that moisture flow and the constant flow of moisture for these showers and thunderstorms to continue to not only stay together off towards the east, but stay decently strong as well. But as of now, we're lucky that most of the showers and thunderstorms of the severe variety north of the state line, aside from this tornado polygon in red, which just clipped the northern half of the Florida Panhandle. But nevertheless, if you are out ahead of that storm system and you are included in the polygon, like Ryan said, it's time to take some safety precautions. You want to get to the safe place, lowest portion of your home, interior portion of that home. It should be away from doors and windows, and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. As this moves east, it's going to come up on places like Malone pretty quickly, and then off towards the east as well. As you take a look at this velocity product, you can kind of see just a little kink in the line here, and with this particular setup, that's what you need. The kinks in the line kind of form pretty quickly, and they also can spin up quickly, spin down, and then spin right back up. With this particular setup of showers and thunderstorms being this long line, a linear setup here, that's what we're looking for. The little kinks in the line, little notches, little twists there that can kind of spin up rather quickly. That's why this kind of setup is a little bit more complex than, say, a big cell out towards the west and areas of the plains where you just see it by itself out on radar. You have to kind of search for them in there in the line of showers and thunderstorms, and that's what we're looking for here. As of now, continuing to watch this tornado warning, which remains in place at least until 5 o'clock a.m., and then the tornado watch itself at least until 7 o'clock. Ryan, you seeing anything different with this, or is that velocity kind of holding steady there with that notch? I think it's this notch right here that's probably prompted the warning to continue.
Yeah, there's been a couple notches that have started to form along that line as you look up towards northern Jackson County, and then especially as you stretch up into southeastern portions of Alabama and southwestern portions of Georgia. Let's zoom on in as we talk about velocity. Velocity is a changing of winds that the radar can pick up on in the atmosphere. If you notice, as we look from Blakely right down through Gordon and even towards Malone, you're going to see a red little ribbon of contour colors, for a better word. The radar is picking up on winds or the motion of the showers and thunderstorms moving away from the radar scan. You're seeing a sweep of the radar scan come just from north of Dothan there up towards Fort Rucker. That's where the radar is currently located. So everything that you see here and shaded in red is actually winds that are moving away from the radar scan itself. I'll draw an arrow just to give you an idea of how that's happening. Now, out ahead of this line of showers and thunderstorms, we've got warm, moist wind that's coming in from the south. And as that interacts with some of this shower and thunderstorm activity, some of that warm, moist air can get wrapped into the thunderstorm itself as the flow goes into a thunderstorm up and then spreads throughout the thunderstorm. And where we're seeing that inflow is where we can actually create what are called inflow notches into a line of showers and thunderstorms. We're basically pulling winds in from the east and have winds associated with the thunderstorm coming from the west. So each one of these little notches is going to give us the potential of actually seeing rotation in the atmosphere, and that's what gives us the potential of actually seeing tornadic activity along this line of showers and thunderstorms that does stretch into northern portions of Jackson County. Nearing the Malone region right now as it continues to trek down Highway 2, getting close to 71. We're only a few minutes away from the Malone region right now. It's 4:48. We estimated it to be there about 4:50. That means that we're within that window where we need to go ahead and make sure that we are in that safe place in our households there in northern portions of Jackson County. This is a big heads up even to our friends out into the Steam Mill region. If we look even a little further south along this line of showers and thunderstorms, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of the arrows that I've drawn. We'll see that some of these notches are also starting to form a little bit further towards the south. They're not as well defined, and the speed is not as well defined. Those brighter shades of pink that you're seeing up around the Gordon region and Madrid up towards southeastern Alabama indicate very fast moving winds. The darker shades of red or a darker shade of green would indicate actually slower winds. So while we are starting to see a few notches develop on this line a little bit further towards the south, down around the Cottondale region right now, it definitely gets a little bit more dispersed as you look further south of Cottondale, at least along this line at this point in time. But we'll continue to monitor some of these little notches as they continue to form along this line, especially up to our tri-state friends. Malone, go ahead and stay in your safe place. Wait till the thunderstorms pass you on by. It's going to last about 10-15 minutes for the worst of this line of showers and thunderstorms to move its way on through. Then we'll get involved in some of the shower and thunderstorm activity that's in general fashion, just with gusty winds behind this line, almost what you see over towards the Madrid region. We don't have any rotation happening in the thunderstorms that's beyond the leading edge of this line of showers and thunderstorms. The rotation is just along the leading edge. So once that leading edge of the showers and thunderstorms passes you on by, you're going to be looking a little bit more into the clear. Trey, this line of showers and thunderstorms does stretch further towards the south. Are we seeing any sort of rotation? Are we seeing anything that we need to be concerned with, even down towards the coastline?
Not quite rotation that we're looking to warn in terms of the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning in the next couple minutes. We're thinking 5 to 10 minutes is when we start looking more towards those warnings being issued. But Ryan, something else that we don't have at this particular time yet, especially with the time change. We just missed the time change happening over the past weekend in terms of not seeing sunlight quite yet. And so as you take a look around the area, whether where you live, we've got 4 areas here, all 4 areas, of course, in the dark. So if you're looking to see these showers and thunderstorms, it'd be hard enough to spot a tornado during the daytime with this particular setup. And with our area being in Northwest Florida, it's hard to see a tornado because they're usually wrapped in rain. But as of now, we're still in the dark. So if you're looking to go outside and see these, it's probably not a great idea. And also, they'll be on you pretty quickly. Once you begin to see that lightning and thunder, that leading line of the showers and thunderstorms, as Ryan alluded to, well, that's where the rotation would be embedded. You're looking at the front side of this long line of showers and thunderstorms to provide that rotation. And as long as we have that southerly wind out ahead of this line, that's when we're going to look for the potential to create that rotation within this line of showers and thunderstorms as well. Now, this linear setup or line of thunderstorms like we have right here provides this type of squirrely opportunity for that spin-up potential within the line. That means that spin-ups or the quick spinning of the winds with the height in the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms that you would see quickly rotate and usually is caught by the National Weather Service. But some of them can happen quickly. They can happen in an area that didn't have any rotation before with this particular type of setup. But as you look right now at the area Ryan was just touching on, you do see the winds behind that leading edge. Notice how much red you've got. That's winds moving away from the radar. And you don't see a lot of green mixing in there. And the reason for that is the storms on the backside here and the rain on the backside, like he mentioned. Well, that's not what we're looking for in terms of areas for rotation. You're seeing that leading edge just starting to spin and kind of kink in there due to that southerly wind, and it mixes up the atmosphere just enough on the leading line here to provide those quick spin-ups. So a quick way to remember this, if you want to remember reds away, greens towards, an old analogy they told us back in meteorology school is the showers and thunderstorms moving towards the radar makes the radar feel excited, and so it's green. When its friends move away from the radar, it shows up as red. So that's kind of a childish elementary way to remember it, but it works. So as we take a look at your temperatures out there, Ryan, this is another aspect of the forecast that's going to really affect what we see over the next few hours. You can already start to see cooler air on the backside of these systems, or on this one system, I should say, this line of showers and thunderstorms. That cooler air is starting to sift through the Panhandle already. You can see the difference just from Defuniak Springs to Bonifay, which isn't all that much in terms of distance. You've got a 10-degree temperature difference already.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the difference in maker in creating these showers and thunderstorms. It's that cool, drier air that's going to be behind this, and the leading line of showers and thunderstorms is feeding off the warm, moist air. It's pushing that warm, moist air up into the atmosphere, and that's what's giving us the thunderstorm threat here this morning. That's what's creating those showers and thunderstorms. Just got an update on the tornado warning from the National Weather Service in Tallahassee. Let's zoom back into that tri-state location right across the northern portions of Jackson County. A new tornado warning has been issued. This one a little bit more difficult to see, at least on this radar scan. I'll stop the scan for you right now at the latest from what we've got on our current radar, which we're picking up from Fort Rucker up towards northern portions of Dothan in Alabama. The new one actually is popping up right between Gordon and Malone, just barely clipping northeastern corner of Jackson County between Malone and Steam Mill. It's one of those inflow notches that we talked about just moments ago that was going to have potential at showing rotation and giving us the fact that we could see that rotation turn into the potential of a shower or thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. I'm going to flip over to our velocity signatures here and give you a little idea about where we're seeing the new tornado warning right now. Currently, my friends, again in Malone, I need you to continue to stay in your safe place here until we give you the all clear. But as of this moment right now, we're watching a new tornado warning that's popping up just north of you by about 4 or 5 miles. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. It's right around 95 in southeastern portions of Alabama, just south of Gordon. It's the little notch that we're seeing form just west of 95 right here that's giving us the potential of rotation. I'll go ahead and put some arrows on it to give you an idea of the circulation that's happening right now in that cell. It's tracking its way further towards the southeast and may barely clip portions of northeastern Jackson County around the Steam Mill region. Steam Mill, you got 2 portions of this line of showers and thunderstorms that's actually moving your direction. One inflow notch coming from the Malone direction down 2, and then another one just south of Gordon that's moving a little bit more on a southeasterly track. They'll be coming in from your northwest. So Steam Mill, go ahead and find your safe place now. You're within about 10 minutes from this line of showers and thunderstorms moving your direction. Once this batch of circulation and tornadic activity starts to slide into Georgia, that'll be out of our viewing area. You'll be able to pick up coverage there from southwestern Georgia cities or even from the Dothan region. Folks up there get a few options when it comes to local coverage, but our local coverage stops at the border there of Jackson County and Georgia in the tri-state. We're looking though right now at our friends in Malone that need to stay under cover for about another looks like 4 or 5 minutes until this leading edge of showers and thunderstorms comes through. Anticipation is to get another radar scan here coming pretty soon. The line of showers and thunderstorms itself still extends all the way back south and southwest towards Panama City Beach and Inlet Beach right now. But the most severe and tornadic side of this line of showers and thunderstorms has largely been up north of our counties as it's moved its way on through in South Alabama as well as now southwest Georgia. It's difficult to say if we're going to be able to get the rest of this line of showers and thunderstorms to move through without producing any sort of tornadic activity along this line that stretches across the rest of northwest Florida. But at this point in time, we'll just need to be watching and keeping a keen eye on the weather, as it's quick and easy to get these spin-ups to happen along a squall line when you've got winds that are primed to rotate in the atmosphere. And for the most part right now, Trey, it looks like we're just seeing the leading edge passing over the Malone region right now. It's just starting to head over towards the Steam Mill region. Malone, you're almost out of the neck of the woods with this tornado warning. And then folks over towards the Steam Mill region, you guys need to hunker down for another 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, with situations like this, Ryan, it's not always cut and dry in terms of immediately finding rotation when a tornado warning's issued. You sometimes have to dig to see where other areas of rotation may be with these types of setups. And so I'll show you an example of that right now. And this is one of those up towards the north here. As we zoom in, you're going to see the reflectivity, which is the first product you just saw. They're the normal reds, greens, and yellows that you would see on a daily basis, just signaling back to the radar how intense the precipitation is. This, of course, we touched on just a moment ago. This is velocity, winds towards and away from the radar. You see the greens kind of wrapping in there on the leading edge of this warned cell. And then another product that we'd take in and add in over the top of it and kind of see if it all matches up in the same area is shear. I heard us mention shear over the past week several times. Shear is one of the components you need to get strong thunderstorms to form. Shear, lift, instability, and moisture are the acronym that we remember for severe weather development. That is SLIM. Once again, shear, lift, instability, and moisture. And shear here, turning of the winds with height. If you take a look at your screen, you kind of see where that shear is located just out in front and with that notch in the line that prompted this warning. So that tells us that at minimum, we've got a little bit of a signature on velocity indicating that there's at least some embedded rotation, at least some turning of the winds, and then we get a little bit more confirmation with the shear on your screen. Now shear, once again, the turning of the winds with height is what you need to develop the mesocyclone up in the vertical is how we determine that, which means that in the severe thunderstorms, you usually have a mesocyclone located right in the atmosphere. And if it doesn't touch the ground, it's not a tornado, but when you get shear here, sometimes it can turn that mesocyclone vertical, and that's when you get a tornado to form. Now, no confirmation that there is actually a tornado on the ground there, but with the signatures on your screen, that's what we're watching for in case that does start to indicate. But another component of the forecast that's a secondary threat to some of this wind and some of the quick-moving thunderstorms is rainfall. We're looking now at some of the precipitable water in the atmosphere, some of the rainfall rates out to the north with this cell, and some of those are quite intense. As those rainfall rates continue to be intense, you won't see these thunderstorms and the heavy variety last all that long, maybe an hour or so in terms of steady, heavy rainfall, a little bit less in terms of the most intense thunderstorms if they happen to move through your area. But what that means for you is go ahead and stay inside. And if that warning's issued, take your safe place. And when it's canceled or it's let go, we'll let you know as well. And you can come on out. And most likely, if you stay in there in your safe place, as long as these thunderstorms are in your area and they move on out, pretty soon after that, you'll see that rain. And then once the rain leaves, you're going to have a pretty nice second half of the day.
Yeah, Trey, that's right. Once we get these thunderstorms to move on out here, and it's happening pretty quick this morning for us, most of the thunderstorms will be gone here before sunrise happens this morning. We'll actually be looking at a pretty nice Thursday and a wonderful end of the week, and your weekend looks pretty good too. The tornadic warned cell now up across northern portions of Jackson County, the one that was moving towards the Malone region, has been allowed to expire. But we still have the one that's closing in on the steam mill region, and we're going to stay with this just for a little bit longer until we actually see it clear the steam mill region and move its way deeper into Georgia, southwest Georgia. So Malone, it is still coming down very heavy, like Trey was mentioning. There's a lot of precipitable water coming in on that southwest wind that we've got ahead of this line of showers and thunderstorms. A lot of moisture coming in off the Gulf. The deeper reds that you're seeing here on radar indicating some of those most intense of the rains falling at the current hour. Not seeing a ton of lightning associated with this batch of showers and thunderstorms. That can sometimes be an indicator of a strengthening batch of the showers and thunderstorms. And so perhaps we're starting to see a little bit of weakening with some of this line of showers and thunderstorms as it approaches the steam mill region. But you're just a few minutes away now. In fact, waiting on the latest radar scan to come its way on in. It's 5:02. We just recently had a radar scan come in just before the 5 o'clock hour. The tornado warning around the Malone region has been allowed to expire, but we still have one tornadic warned cell that's working its way south of Gordon, southeast towards the steam mill region and the border there of Jackson County and Georgia. And as this line of showers and thunderstorms continues to progress its way further towards the southeast, we've seen potential of it actually being able to create rotation in the atmosphere. So my friends out there into the steam mill region, let's stay under the cover here for the next 10 minutes. Now, the whole line itself is rather benign once you look your way south of I-10. Most of Jackson County is under a severe thunderstorm warning here as of this hour, meaning that we could still have some gusty winds in association with this batch of the squall line across Jackson County. Not necessarily seeing a whole lot of rotation. If I switch over to velocity signatures, most of the line itself is actually looking pretty much straightforward into straight line winds. And this is actually coming from the radar station out of Red Bay right now at this view. But most importantly, you look down across the leading edge of this line of showers and thunderstorms, and from Bay County right up until about Marietta is where things look rather linear. You don't see a whole lot of those inflow notches that we talked about roughly half an hour ago, and that has even started to smooth out a little bit more so from about Marietta up towards Steam Mill. As we get a little bit closer to the steam mill region, it does get a little bit more jagged even as we switch over radar scans. This one now coming from Fort Rucker in southeastern Alabama. You can really see up towards the Mayhaw region in southwest Georgia, even approaching the Iron City areas, and just north of Steam Mill, there's a couple pretty strong inflow notches. And these that just moved through the Mayhaw region are reasons why we have tornado warnings out. That's very bright shades of pink showing up, indicating reds that are winds moving away from the radar scan itself. But when they start to get bright shades, look at your banner here up across the top and the legend, that is winds that are moving faster away from the scale. If you get to the darker shades of the reds or the darker shades of the greens, when winds are moving towards the radar scan, those are slower winds. And so there are still just a couple locations embedded along this line of showers and thunderstorms that's giving us some concern for the potential of rotation. If we bring in another aspect of radar nowadays, not only do we send out radar waves in one plane, but we send them out in two planes, one that rides the vertical, one that rides the horizontal. And that can give us a 3D look at thunderstorms themselves. And from that, we can actually detect whether we're looking at just uniform raindrops falling in the sky, or are we seeing objects in the sky that maybe are not shaped exactly like a raindrop. Maybe a tree branch, maybe some sort of debris. It's got an irregular form. You notice that here when we switch over to debris tracker, it's fairly uniform along most of this batch of showers and thunderstorms. That leading edge, even though it's discolored, is not indicating that we have any debris flying into the skies. What you would see is actually something that would be bright around some of the red shades, maybe on the order of a bright yellow or a bright green, indicating that we have the potential of some debris in the atmosphere. But we're not seeing that right now with this line of showers and thunderstorms, so that is good news. Let's switch back over to velocity. Currently watching the line get closer to Steam Mill. We just got the recent radar scan in, and it looks like the line is just about on top of them at this point in time. Trey, for the most part, once we see maybe in the next 5 minutes or so, this batch of showers and thunderstorms that's had the rotation move a little firmly into Georgia, we'll get back into our regular scheduled newscast.
And once that line moves into Georgia, most areas to the north that have already seen that tornado warning that's currently in place can kind of start to wind down their severe opportunity through the rest of the morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on further towards the south. South of that tornado warning that's in place. This line of showers and thunderstorms is what we're going to watch after the tornado warning expires and moves into Georgia, and or as the line of showers and thunderstorms moves through the area and moves through the Panhandle, we're going to watch the southerly wind push up from, of course, the south up into these line of showers and thunderstorms. We're going to watch for velocity to kind of signal if there's any embedded rotation. But here's what it looks like further towards the south across the southern portions of the Panhandle. Areas like Laguna Beach, just seeing those showers move on through right now. Heavy rainfall, probably a little bit loud for you. But as Ryan mentioned moments ago, not a lot of lightning here with these thunderstorms at the moment. And lightning can tell us that the storm system would be strengthening or holding together on a decent strength scale. But as of now, these showers and thunderstorms to the south seem to be more so a wind threat. But let's move even further south than that, and we'll take a look out into the Gulf, as we still do have the marine warning in place. Now, that marine warning was issued initially as the showers and thunderstorms were offshore, and that's where the strongest of which started to develop, at least in our area, until the whole line moved in well early into the morning. And so what that's going to leave us with here is kind of a general gauge of what type of moisture totals and what type of winds we're working with out of the Gulf. As long as we've got somewhat of a southerly wind out ahead of these showers and thunderstorms and the wind on the backside, you have the potential for the wind on the backside to shove these showers and thunderstorms along, and then the wind in the front of the cells and the line to kind of combine here, and that can create that brief rotation that we're looking for with this particular setup today. As for velocity to the south of the tornado warning that we're currently covering, we do have a little bit of embedded mid-level rotation, but really not much, Ryan, not enough to provoke showers and thunderstorms of the tornado warn variety. But something I want to touch on briefly is our specific type of threats we're looking at with this setup. We're not looking at hail here, and large hail is not something we particularly really find much in our atmosphere with these type of setups anyway, and definitely not today. But we are looking more so for a few tornadoes, and those tornadoes with this line of showers and thunderstorms and its type of setup, well, they can spin up pretty quickly, and also those strong winds on the backside. And these two, the spin-up tornado threat and the strong wind threat, kind of working against what would be otherwise a flash flooding concern with different types of setups. Now, what I mean by that is the stronger winds on the backside are kind of shoving this line through pretty quickly. So once you see the strongest thunderstorms on your doorstep, they're in and they're out pretty rapidly, giving the opportunity for street flooding and flash flooding and flooding in general. Not a lot of room to work with there. As I mentioned, large hail, just not really an overly big concern here on a daily basis, as we're a warm area and a warm climate as well. Not a lot of chance for those hailstones to freeze in our atmosphere. But strong winds, certainly another concern, secondary concern to that tornado potential. And I'd even argue at some points today that the strong wind concern is just as concerning as those brief spin-up tornadoes, because a brief way and a simple way to remember it is, say you got a weak tornado up into a county and you've got a weak tornado coming down your street. Well, whether you have a weak EF0, EF1 tornado or strong winds, either way, whether the wind's wrapping around or the wind's blowing in a straight line with straight line winds, either way, a brief tornado or straight line winds come down your street. That's not a great day, depending on how strong they are. Either way, both of them are dangerous, but we do see the opportunity through the rest of this week and into the weekend for some rainfall accumulation, and we'll touch on that later in the morning once that tornado warning is allowed to expire. But once again, severe risk today, looking at a few tornadoes, possibly spin up or maybe a little bit stronger if that comes to fruition. Most likely we'll get through it with maybe a warning or two more, Ryan, or even none.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully we can get this rest of the line of the showers and thunderstorms crossing over Highway 231 here in the next hour or so, and then progressing into our eastern counties and keep it on the benign side, and perhaps maybe Alabama and Georgia deal with the brunt of this squall line here feature. Just recently, the tornado warning for Jackson County has been allowed to shift further east with this line into southwest Georgia. I also want to make note that the tornado watch has now fallen out of Walton and Okaloosa, as well as Holmes counties. As the leading line of showers and thunderstorms moves through, that's our greatest tornado potential. So we'll see the tornado watch expiring. Even though it lasts until 8 o'clock central, there's good potential that we actually get a lot of these showers and thunderstorms to leave most of Northwest Florida, perhaps an hour before that even expires, or maybe even sooner than later. Once we get any more warnings, we will pop back in for you, but the news is going to continue here at this point in time. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.